I came to preach the gospel to the poor. So in as much as we try to help the poor, we try to help the needy, we try to help those things, we need to fix their mind also. You see, our mind is very important. Our mind, it is the mind, it is the manual of human being, it is the engine of human being, it is where everything comes from. If we are poor, if we are sick, if we lack something, it is our mindset. It is our mindset. When you put the mindset in the right place, when you have a right thinking and a right focus and the right sense of action, you do your things and everything you do become successful because you have a right sense. Your right place of thinking is very important. So in as much as we are waiting on God to do something for us, we are praying and we are seeking him. Prayer is important. It's not to say that prayer is important. You can't do anything without it. But in as much as you are praying, let's just say you are praying for marriage. Maybe you are a young man, you are praying for marriage. But any lady that you approach, you disrespect, you don't regard them as human being, you talk to them anyhow, even though you are praying for marriage, but it will never come to pass because your sense of mindset is different. You are praying for marriage as a man, but you see every woman as bad, you see every girl as bad. So who are you going to get married to? Angel? No, you need to have a right senses and you need to place your mind in a very good sense. Your mind has to be in order. You have to be in a good state before you can get the results of the things you are praying for. You cannot be a young lady and you want to get married, but you are abusing every man you see. You abuse every man you see. You talk to them anyhow. Your man, the husband that you are praying for, is not going to fall from the sky. It's going to come out of you, around you. So your mind has to be in a good state. You have to have a good mindset. Sometimes I used to, what make people have a bad mindset? It is because when you are growing, certain things has been said to you. Let me tell you some positive thing that I pick up when I was growing. When I was growing, my mom, you can never pick anything that my mom put down without asking permission. When you take it without her permission, when it comes, she will give you lashes that will make you know that she's the one that gave birth to you. So up to date, even if I'm going to pick something from if there is a food and I'm going to pick it, I have to ask my wife, I want to pick this food. Sometimes she said, pick it, I cook it for you. No, but that is how I was trained. When you take it without permission, there is a cane. So that thing has built something in me. You understand? So having a right mindset and having a wrong mindset, it comes out from your upbringing. You see, I always say something that your upbringing will determine your upliving. Your upbringing will determine your upliving. The way they raise you is going to determine the way you're going to live your life. So it's very, very important. It's very important that in as much as we are working day by day and in as much as we are going through a whole lot of things, we have to check the way we think. Now let's go to the Bible, the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 23 verse 7. Proverbs 23 verse 7. Proverbs 23 verse 7. What did he say right there? He said, I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't want to mess up my message. He said, for as he think in his heart, so is he. As he think in his heart, so is he. You see, so which means that we can never be different from what we are thinking. You see, you can never be different from what you say or the things you say. You cannot be different from the things you say. Your thinking and your processing of your thinking is as the result of the things you say. You can never be different from what you say. So if you want to know how some people think, look at what they say, or look at the things they say. When you are negative and your life is full of negativity, you always think negative, you always say negative things, we know what you think, because you can never be different from what you say. Your sayings and the things you say is as the result of the way you think, and the actions you take and the decisions you take is based on the way you think. Your thinking reflects your thoughts. He said, the Bible says, as a water reflects the face, as the water reflects the face of the face, so are your thoughts or something. So as water reflects your face is the way you are. As you see things is the way you process things. Yes, as a man thinketh, so it be. That's what the scripture said. You see, yeah, you can never be different from the way you think. You can never be different from the things you say. You are the product of the things you say. Your decisions making is at the result of the way you think. So when things are happening in your life negative, the first cause before you think of any other person is you. You see, it's you. You are the cause. You are the cause of certain problems. You are the cause of certain things. You are the reason why certain things happen. If you don't allow it, the Bible says, guide your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of this life. Guide your heart, which means be careful the way you think, and be careful the kind of things you think. Because if you allow certain things to get into you, you begin to reflect those things. Sometimes somebody will behave and somebody will do some things, and you will sit down and you ask yourself, oh my goodness, how? One time I was going to work, and I was driving on a way where somebody, I don't know what the driver behind the driver, I don't know what happened. This guy dropped out of his car in the middle of he's supposed not to stop. He stopped, get out of his car, and is coming to fight the other guy. The other guy also fight him and beat him mercilessly. Now he doesn't even know how to get into this car. And I was thinking, you are driving, so your mind is not even telling you that even though the person might have done something you don't like, because some people also drive foolish, just move on and go. What kind of mindset do you have? Now this person has messed up your face, messed up, and you're going to drive. How can you be able to drive? If you die, are you going to say it's the devil that kills you, or you kill yourself? You understand? Because the thinking is not right. The thinking is not right. The mentality is wrong. The mentality is negative. The mentality is give and take. You know, when you do me, I'll do you. There is nothing like that. You will become negative. Your life will become negative, and there will not be nothing productive from your life, because your thinking is wrong. Your way of seeing things is wrong. You see things in a different way. You act in a different way. You were raised from certain background. You see, when you become born again and you become saved, one of the things that God does is to change your thinking. It is very important. When you become saved and you become born again, one of the things that God does for you is to change your mindset. Because even though you can be saved and still act foolish, you can be saved and still be acting stupid, excuse my word, you can be saved and act that as though you are never saved. So when God saves you, one of the things he wants you to do is to change your mindset. The Bible said in the book of Romans chapter 12 verse 1 to 2, he said, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. That's not where I'm going. Verse 2, he said, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove that what is right, you may prove what is good and acceptable and perfect will of God. You see, he said to renew your mind, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Your negative thinkings and your negative mentality cannot help you where you are going now. So you need a different mindset. You need to think. Sometimes you will talk to people and you wonder, how are they thinking? How are you thinking, and how are you seeing things? Why is your behavior like this? Why are you here and still behaving like as though you are here? Haven't you seen some people you finish school with them for years? When you see them, they are the same way they are. Nothing changes, nothing adds, no addition, no subtraction. They are where they are. They think the same, and they want to make a progress, but the thinking is the same. Do you know that the Bible said strongholds, you see, to cut down every stronghold? Strongholds are not things that are hold on in heaven, or strongholds are not some pots that charms have been placed on it. No, that is demonic items. Strongholds are thought patterns, decisions, ideas, and some philosophy and some things that are built in you when you are young. So even though you grow, you cannot get of it. He said, train up a child in a way he should go, that when he grows, he will not depart from it. Because when you train up the child in a way they should go, in a way they should go, not in the way you want them to go, or not in the way the society want them to go, but in the way they should go, when they grow, they will not depart from it. Why? Because you build a mindset in the child when he was young, so he grows with it. You understand? So even though they grow, they cannot depart from that. You understand? They cannot depart from it. So you build it in them. You understand? They cannot depart from it, from the things you see. Those of us that are here right now, the area we grow in, and the neighborhood we grow in, and the environment we grow in, there are some of the behaviors that are still in us. So if you want to make progress and to get out from your environment, or to get out from your norm, you have to have a different kind of mindset. Because where you are going, you need to have a certain particular mindset to get there. If you still hold on to the old traditions and to the whole way of doing things, you will mix out. You will mix out big time. You understand? So the mindset has to be different. You have to think in a different way. You can't be like the way you are years ago. You have to give yourself room to grow. So he said, I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God. He said, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So anytime you renew your mind, you get transformed from something. You get your mind fixed. You understand? You cannot be praying to God for progress, for success, but then another thing that comes into your hand, you spend it. You cannot be asking so much from. He said, he that is little, he that is faithful to little shall be faithful with much. You understand? He that little is given, much is required. You understand? So you cannot be praying for the success of God, for God to bless you, for God to give you breakthrough, for God to give you increase, but you can't even pay your tithe. You can't even pay offerings. Those are the channels, the mediums that God used to bless people. If you want God to bless you, God can never bless you by not doing those simple things. You understand? He can never bless you by not doing those things. The world will tell you, oh, God will bless you. God. No. The world can bless. There is a spirit out of there in the world that can bless. So if somebody doesn't go to church and he or she is blessed, it doesn't mean God bless them. No. He gave principles. He said, when you do those things, I'll open the windows of heaven and bless you. You understand? So these things are mindset, and these things are things that God is giving you in order to build your mind, to build you in a different way, in a different direction. You cannot be thinking like the way you used to think. No. Do you want to make progress? In as much as we are here on this radio motivating you day in and day out, we need to build a mindset in your mind. Whatever you are praying for God, you have to get ready. You have to get ready. You understand? It's like somebody who wins lottery. He's just getting into the lottery. He's just playing the lottery. He doesn't know. One day he just win, boom, bunch and many money, thousands of money. But the same person who win the lottery will become poor a few years down the road. Why? Because they are not prepared for that riches. The mind and the state of mind in which they are in, they can't handle that figure. You see, Jesus said to the disciples, I have so many things to tell you, but I can't tell you now. Why? Because their mind is not prepared for such thing. It's not prepared to handle that things now. You understand? So there is a reason why certain things we are praying for and certain things we are calling God for, our mind is not prepared for it. And if He give us, we will abuse it. That is why we are not getting certain things, and that is why we are not getting some results to some prayers we are praying. If you are praying for marriage, then get your mind prepared for marriage. If you are praying for riches, then get your mind prepared for riches. You see, he said, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you will show yourself, so that you will prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. You understand? When you renew your mind, you prove something. You prove a sense of growth. You prove a sense of maturity. It is all by your thinking. You understand? It's by your thinking. It's by your thinking. You think right. You think positive. You don't think negative.